In case you've been living under a rock, for the year 2023 was atrocious for Hollywood. For not just any specific studio, well, one was hit specifically hard, but I'll probably be delving into that in the coming week. But everybody failed spectacularly in one form or another. And now the industry is starting to pick up on that, but is anybody offering solutions? Of course not. Strikes, box office bombs, and huge leadership vacuum. Hollywood says goodbye to the worst year in a generation. That's not even being hyperbolic, right? Because obviously you got the background of the strike, well, the dueling strikes with the Writers Association and the Film Actors Guild, coupled with just about every big tentpole falling flat on its face. Even though there were $3 billion films released this year, there were as many flops, costing studios billions of dollars. So for as much money as Warner made with Barbie, that all probably ended up getting washed away with its DC slate. The only ones that might have ended up working out all right, Paramount with Oppenheimer. I think they get a taste of the Mario film, but yeah. But the big studios, it was a bad year. 2024 can't come fast enough. When the clock strikes midnight on January 1st, Hollywood will close the book on arguably the most tumultuous 12 months in a generation. With the town roiled by devastating strikes, the implosion of the superhero movie, and deep divisions on everything from AI to Israel. Well, it's not so much deep divisions when somebody offers a countervailing point and you just immediately excise them from the industry, but whatever. But as Tinseltown ushers in a new year, will it suffer from a monster hangover? Many of the most vexing issues remain unsolved. There's a huge leadership vacuum, and that's not about to change, says Michael Nathanson, the former head of MGM Studios and Columbia Pictures. Oh, once great studios. Oh well, Nathanson, who started in film and TV business in the 70s, noted that Lew Wasserman, Bob Daly, Mike Ovitz commanded respect and fear, and could galvanize the industry in chaotic times like writers and actor strikes. Interesting. Who's in place now? Well, Bob Iger is not really that guy anymore. Oh, was he ever really? Because, okay, he was known for one thing, purchasing other people's content, putting it under the Disney umbrella and going, hey, look at the cool thing that I made. Not quite. I thought we were done talking about Israel. And Ted Sarandos, sure, is still not trusted enough by people for him to have that leadership role. I do believe he's in charge of Netflix, which actually just, put their dick out there on the table and just, showed everybody their streaming numbers, just reaffirming the fact that Netflix is king and everybody else with their disparate streaming services, you guys are playing for a very, very distant second place. I think people are like, what's his motive? Are we really going to turn this over to Netflix? Well, I don't think you're going to have a choice in that matter. That is just a simple inevitability. Among today's Uber agents, Endeavor's Ari Emanuel, seemed more interested in taking shots at CAA's Brian Lord and Kevin Huvarn, than providing a steady hand in the height of the labor storm. Oh yeah, of course, it even got so bad where actors were trying to pay off their unions so they could go back to work. And at the same time, Iger, who rejoined Disney CEO in November of 2022, after Bob Chapek, the guy that he handpicked to go ahead and be the fall guy during the coup, and to wade through most of the crap that Iger set up prior to his emergency exit, had him fired in the middle of the night on a Sunday and while he was at a Elton John concert, but whatever, has yet to find his footing in his second outing. The once mighty Pixar machine showed signs of distress. Yeah, you've been kind of saying that for a while, because as bad as Elemental was last year, it was, Bud Lightyear, as you can see right there. That was even worse performing than Elemental's. Maybe it broke even. Maybe it lost a few $1 million. Hell, maybe they found a few million in between the couch cushions out there, but it wasn't the success that Pixar's accustomed to. That was the house that brought you great films like Toy Story, The Incredibles, WALL-E. Now, got gay kisses in space. Yay. Meanwhile, in an October SEC filing, Disney acknowledged a double-digit profit drop in the sports unit. That includes a Crown Cable Jewel ESPN for the first 9 months of the fiscal 2023. Yo. Hence why they laid off, over 100 people in the late summer? That was wild. Externally, Iger, wow, they're really driving in hard on Disney. Well, of course, yeah, because they're the ones, they were basically the face of the 2023 bomb. if we're going to be completely honest. Everything that they touched didn't even turn to lead, because lead's useful. Dryer lint. Okay, that's what it ended up turning into. Like, you guys were there for it. You guys seen it as well as I did. I was just covering the stuff and know that, yeah, no, everything's terrible. Iger faced unprecedented, for him, criticism from agitated factions in town, including his remarks that striking writers and actors are just not realistic during a CNBC interview in July. Was he wrong, though? That's about the only time that Iger's been on point. Adding to the Disney chief's anxiety, activist investor, generally sensible individual Nelson Peltz launched a proxy battle in late November, marking his second power grab of the year. He tried something in February, but it actually stuck this time around, and he's also trying to bring back some other old faces that were once adversarial to Bob Iger. Oh, 2024 is going to be so fun on multiple fronts. I hope you guys stick around for it. But nothing stoked panic around Hollywood like Marvel's spectacular fall. The studio endured one headache after another as quality and box office returns nosedive. No, that was happening well before this, but better late than never variety. Culminating with the disastrous release of The Marvels, which will go down as hilarious. The film, which cost $250 million, that's total cap, by the way, a huge underselling of what it ultimately will be, and we won't know for sure until the tax filings end up hitting sometime in the second quarter of 2024, is going to be bad, has earned just $203 million worldwide, and it's not going to move anywhere. I'm going to be very interested to see if anybody's adventurous enough to go down to whatever theater is still hosting that pile of shit over Christmas. I'm wondering. I know it's not. Maybe over the full 4-day spread. I don't think there's going to be a single day where it hits 7 digits. That's going to be so bad. It's going to be so bad. Iger blamed COVID, noting that there wasn't as much supervision on the set, so to speak, where we have any executives really looking over what's being done day after day after day. Exactly. Well, that's what also happens when you cast people behind the camera that are as inexperienced as the people that you put in front of the camera. But internally, Disney is actually singing a different tune. Disney is worried that woke is ruining their brand after consistent flops. You don't say. You don't say. It's been the problem, man. Even for the people that just look specifically at the script, they are noticing. There's a lot of noticing that's going on, specifically in 2023. Of the sort where it's, oh wow, you're just really power injecting ideology at the sake of a coherent story. Why are you doing that? Why is that happening? The most beloved era of Disney was the 90s. I guess, wasn't really around in, their first foray. Obviously, I was only born in 1990, but yeah, I got to see, Lion King, Pixar take off, obviously, as previously mentioned. My favorite film, Aladdin. I was the perfect age to experience the entirety of the Renaissance. Hercules, Mulan, all of that stuff. Like, it was great. Disney was the seal of approval. It was the seal of high quality for general purpose entertainment. Adults and children alike loved themselves the new Disney film that came out. Hell, there's always a story. You probably have, like a father or mother who also tell you the story around this time of the year, where it's like, yeah, they would look forward to taking you to the theater because they also kind of wanted an excuse to go and see the new Disney film. I know my dad likes to tell that story about some of the cartoons of the day, but now it's like, oh God, we can't take you there. We can't take you to go see the new Disney film because I love my kid and I don't want them to be indoctrinated. Terrible. But if they're actually having the conversations that, woke is a death, perhaps we'll see something good come out of Disney, but that won't be for another half decade or so. A Little Mermaid, Aladdin, Lion King, Mulan. Wow, they actually named just about everything that I did. You throw in Beauty and the Beast, obviously. Like, did they even have anything approaching a dud during the Renaissance? I don't think so. They're all classics. I got so many of them. And many more told the kind of magical stories that stayed in our hearts, along with catchy music that could get stuck in our heads for days. This period is often referred to as the Renaissance era, as many suspect that these movies are loved by women everywhere because Disney successfully captured the brilliance and timelessness of femininity. Yeah, no, that's for sure. Because that was even the case with Mulan, okay? Her sticking up for her family, wanting to look after her family, do whatever she could. She didn't, even though she was portraying a man. I know. she didn't, at the end of the day, sacrifice her femininity the way that the stupid 2020 remake did. What a pile of crap that was. Oh yeah, Jasmine was seductive and required her man to work for her. Exactly. There are so many RP truths with Aladdin that I realized in retrospect. Like, it's always been my favorite, but then also realizing that, you know, like, Aladdin was really, he was that dude, but Princess Jasmine didn't give a shit about him until he acquired some status and some wealth. It's like, wow, that's like, you know, we'll bang on. But anyways, Ariel, speaking like Sebastian, Jariel, pop, 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 straight. I didn't quite go that far. He was just banging his claws together. Taught us about sacrifice and trust. Exactly. And Mulan was both brave and family oriented. Exactly. The best aspects of femininity. That and being hot too, but they're cartoons for kids. That would be weird. Leave the sexuality to the, you know, the artists in the background drawing dicks in Atlantis. All of the princesses had their own personalities and opinions, but they each made room for the prince to come in and sweep them off their feet. No one was too proud to reject a man. These traditional Disney films were never political. Yeah, no. Well, in so much as Aladdin was like overthrowing a sultanic coup and then banishing the usurper off to a foreign land in a lamp. But anyways, and the themes were always centered on universal, relatable stories that brought together people rather than driving them apart. However, Disney has certainly lost its way over the last couple of decades. True, very true. That's the first time that anybody's actually pointed that out, you know, last couple of decades, because this isn't like a real recent thing. This rot has been here for a long time. They lost touch at producing hit movies that resonate with both young children and adults. Turning Red, oh my god, I would highly recommend E:(R) for his short review of this. It's hilarious, and Turning Red's a pile of shit that has acclaimed for its heartwarming narrative and representation did not achieve high commercial success compared to other Pixar films. Yeah, because it's a ham-fisted message about coming of age, about a girl getting her period. Gross. The global box office gross of only $20 million against a production budget of $175 million. Stop me if you've heard this before. It ranks among the biggest box office bombs of 2022, but that was actually a pretty detailed list. The supposed reason for its underperformance is attributed to its simultaneous release on Disney+. Yeah, no, that was the problem. Their strategy allowed audiences to view the film at home, significantly affecting its worldwide box office earnings. However, it left people wondering if it just wasn't good enough to draw in the audience, and there were many parents who expressed their disappointment with the type of inappropriate content that was being delivered to teenagers for the sake of sending a particular message to the world. Yeah, and Disney's animated movie Strange World also faced a significant box office shortfall with an estimated loss of $147 million in 2022. Oh man, that was just COVID hangover, right? Nobody wanted to go back to the theaters. Shut up. Notably woke aspect of the film is the introduction of Disney's first openly gay teenage character. What are you doing? Who discusses same-sex crush? Gross! The film's underperformance is attributed to various factors, including the fact that, well, I think you already highlighted it right there. Just saying, creeps. Similar issues ended up hitting, yes, the previously mentioned Bud Lightyear with a gay kiss that was conveniently edited out, but it had Chris Evans, right? Like a movie star, everybody's favorite movie star. No, you're Captain America and nothing else. Get back in the suit, stupid. Elemental ended up, doing nothing, and it had the first gender non-binary character. You're doing cartoons. Stop it with all this nonsense. Now Disney is experiencing a box office bomb. Oh my God, I legitimately forgot about Wish. The newest princess film that seeks to copy Encanto's success, but due to its poor storytelling, boring songs, and progressive message, it also flopped. But as it says here, Disney acknowledges that going woke hasn't worked out so well for them. Disney is finally acknowledging the significant impact of wokeness and the culture wars on its operation. This admission has made in its annual financial report filed with the SEC for the financial year ending September 30th. The report highlights various aspects of Disney's performance and future risks. Disney employs just about a cool 225 1,000 employees worldwide and emphasizes its commitment to creating a more inclusive and diverse workplace. Yes, diversity, inclusion, and equity objectives, focusing on reflecting the life experience of its audiences, and nobody cares. Financially, Disney reported revenues of $88.9 billion for the fiscal 2023 year, marking a 7% increase on 22. Nice. Despite this growth, the company has reduced spending on film and TV content. Oh, shucks. Cutting it from $29.8 billion to $27.2 billion. Iger plans to further reduce content spending to $25 billion next year. Well, that'll actually be easily achievable given the lack of content that'll be going around. Like Marvel has at best 3 things to put out. 1 movie, 1 show, maybe another show. Who knows? Alongside these cuts, Disney has also implemented staff reductions and other expense cuts, achieving about $7.5 billion in cost-cutting savings. Consumers' perceptions of our positions on matters of public interest, including our efforts to achieve certain of our environmental and social goals, often differ widely from presenting risks to our reputation and brands, Disney admitted in the SEC filing. Disney's leisure business is influenced by multiple factors, including health concerns and political environment. Company's intervention in the debate over Florida's parental rights and education bill in March had significant repercussions. So yeah, Disney was losing on multiple fronts. Their films weren't what they used to be, engaging in a very public battle with a very popular governor, not a very popular presidential candidate, but somebody who has cultural swing in the Sunshine State. So now you have your 2 biggest fronts tainted with failure, then you have an overall perception that you're no longer a safe bet for families, and that spells disaster when your target audience is in fact, let me check my notes. All right, families. Disney did themselves in, and it's a self-inflicted gunshot wound right to the roof of their mouth. Shout out Kurt Cobain. But because they know exactly what they're doing. Do they know enough to course correct on this one? We'll have to see, because I'm pretty sure that 2024 and especially 2025, because they're going to learn all the wrong lessons from the very likely to be highly successful Deadpool 3. So yes, might not end up manifesting. They can go ahead and just write off 2023. Okay, this might not end up hitting home for a couple years, but are they smart enough to read the room? Well, it's Disney after all, so we'll just have to do a wait and see approach. But if I were you, I wouldn't hold my breath. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.